welcome back. My name is Carolyn. For you that have returned, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming back and watching my video. And for all of you new amazing people, I thank you so much and I appreciate you so much. Let's get to the video. So today I want to share with you guys a few things that I've come to realize being married. Number one, when you get married, many people think you're supposed to know your partner 100% and you're supposed to know everything about them. That is wrong. That's not how that goes. Actually, when you get married, you're actually still learning each other. And throughout your marriage, from day one to whichever year you're on, you change, your husband changes, or your spouse changes, right? And you have to get to learn them a little, you have to learn them a little differently, right? It's not to say like they change so drastically that you don't know who this person is, but you are still learning them. You're learning how to work with them. You're learning how to love them. You're learning how to cope with them, right? How to cohabitate together. And that is okay. Many people think that you're just supposed to know everything about each other just right from the beginning. That's not how that works. I come to realize in my marriage, I've changed so much. And I think it's because my husband is, he's so loving with me that he allows me to be comfortable enough to open up to him and to bring out who I think has always been there and just probably afraid to come out. But because of that, I realized, hey, I changed. And he also realized, hey, he has changed. And I have seen his change. And I'm okay with his change. And he's okay with my change. But what we've come to realize is in marriage, you change. Your spouse changes. And that's okay. You, as a married couple, have to come to the terms to understand how to work with each other on that change and how this change is beneficial or how this change can harm your relationship and your family and your marriage. And that brings me to the second thing that I've learned while being married. Now, I'm still working on this. I'm still working on a lot of things that I'm going to share with you today. So don't get it wrong. We are not perfect, but you know that, right? Nobody's perfect. There is no perfect anything in this world, okay? This is temporary. But what I've come to realize is communication is so important. And communication means listening. Communication also means that we don't have to be the ones that respond every single time. Yeah, I had to learn that. I'm still learning that. It's okay. I'm learning. But communication is so important. To be transparent with your spouse or with your long-term partner, because we're changing, because we're doing something different all the time, many emotions build up, and sometimes we don't know what's going on inside of us, but we kind of take it out on our partners. But if you're communicating with each other, if you're transparent with each other, you can always stay on the same page of things. That's important when it comes to parenting. That's important when it comes to finances. That's important when it comes to change. That's important with everything that you do in your life. You have to communicate with the person that you have agreed to spend the rest of your life with, because it is not just you, it is also your partner that is going through this roller coaster with you. So communication is key. And for me and my husband, this is something that we are still working on. This is something that we are still trying to master. We know that we're not going to be perfect on it, but if we can get it down and learn that it's important, then it makes it better for us to use that tool. I don't think many people realize that there's different forms of communication, and it's so important that you learn how to communicate with your spouse or with your long-term partner. For example, my husband has this thing where I don't know what it is. He likes to communicate through text message. It drives me crazy. And for me, I rather you sit down with me and you talk to me. There's even situations where I remember one time in particular, like me and my husband were bumping heads. And one day the kids were not here. It was just my husband and I. And we were in the room when we were talking. And I just really didn't know what was going on with him. So what happened was when he came in the room, I sat down in front of the door so that he would not have any way out the room. Because guess what? We are going to communicate today. And ever since that happened, I think he come to realize that it is important. My husband, even though he's very humble, he's very stubborn. He's so stubborn. And the hard part about that is I'm stubborn. So I had to come to terms that no, we are going to talk. But since that has happened, I have learned his way of communication, embraced his way of communication, and I try to meet him halfway with his way of communication. That is so important, guys, so that the communication that you guys are sharing works. It's not just going in one ear and out the other. It's not just someone talking and the other person not actually adhering to what you're saying or actually taking time to actually care about what you're saying. It is important that we communicate in these relationships. We need to have marriages that, last for 30, 40 years. Marriages are not what they are, showing today, last 60 days, get a divorce. That's not a marriage, okay? So communicate with your spouse. Number 3, is being submissive to your spouse. Now, me, because I'm so stubborn and because was a single mom for so long, I didn't know what that meant to be submissive to another man, because for me, I was like, I don't need a man for nothing, honey, okay? Not nothing. You feel me? You catch what I'm saying? So it was hard for me to be submissive to a man, and granted, my husband's not the only guy I've ever been with in a relationship, but in those relationships, I also realized that I wasn't very submissive because I was used to being head of household. I was used to being the top, so I didn't know that. But my husband, he's so submissive to me. I love it. And that's with everything, And I saw through that and I was like, let me do the same for him, And he loves it. Sometimes I trip up, don't get me wrong, and he gets mad. He reminds me, but he sees me working on it. Or that's what matters, right? What I come to realize is, my husband likes things a certain way. I like things a certain way. And he actually enjoys if I let him be the man. I didn't know how to do that, but I learned over time how to do that. Men have these big egos, and when we are not submissive to our husbands, we crush those egos. So what I come to realize is there are certain things that your husband likes. Find the interest in what he likes and compliment him on it. Girl, submission 101. Number 4 of what I have learned while being married is our roles are very different from what I expected. So, roles and expectations. In the world today, many people already have their mindset on the expectation of a wife, on the role of a wife, what you should do, how you should be, right? And many people already have their mindset on the expectations and the roles of a husband. It actually doesn't really work like they say in the world. My husband is the cook, he's the cleaner, he works full time, he has the kids most of the time. I'm the cook part time, I'm the cleaner part time, and I'm the one that works all the time. So, our roles are very different than what the world or what people think it's supposed to be in a marriage. And that is okay. Nobody should be ashamed that their husband's in the kitchen cooking more than them or that their husband's doing the laundry better than them. I'm fine with that. At first, I was like, oh, I kind of felt weird about it. But no, I'm actually fine with that. What he does in the household and what he does as my husband works for this family. What I do in the household and what I do for my husband works for this family. So as long as it works for the family, there's nothing more to talk about. You understand? So roles change. Because he's a husband doesn't mean he's supposed to be outside with a tool, dirty hands, and fixing something. It's okay. It's okay. And because I'm a wife, it doesn't mean I'm supposed to be at home with a broom and with a spatula cooking. Okay? It is okay. We are fine with the way that we are. But many people need to accept the fact that there is role changes in marriage. There's different expectations when you're actually married opposed to what you think it is before you get married. So keep an open mind when you're getting married and understand you may not be playing the role that you thought you were going to play when you became a wife or when you became a husband. And that is okay. And the 5th thing that I learned while being married is your business in your marriage is your business in your marriage. Now, you may have some conversations with some people, and for some people, the negative in your marriage and the hard times that you face in your marriage, for some people, that's like ammunition for them to feel better about their self, about their misery. And for some people, they harp on what's going on in your marriage to feel better about their marriage, which could be worse than yours. Don't get me wrong, I'm not judging nobody's marriage. I'm just saying there are some people that feed off the negative that's happening in your marriage. But overall, even when it comes to family, I always tell my kids, and my husband and I, we talk to our children. We always let them know what's going on with us. Let's communicate with each other. Let's figure it out with each other. Now, this is not to say like don't get counseling if you need counseling, or don't, have that friend that is there for you. It's not to say that. It's just to say everything doesn't need to be shared outside your marriage. You and your husband are going to bump heads, right? And 3 days later, you and your husband are going to be okay. But then you're going to have the person that you're sharing your business with, and they're going to be like, oh, well, what happened with this? Right? So they're still going to be hanging on to what you told them a week ago and what happened, and you guys already made it up. You and hubby are going to be fine. So everything doesn't need to be shared in your marriage. Figure it out within each other. If you need counseling, go get counseling, but that's just not something that you need to broadcast all the time. And I learned that, and I'm very happy that I have come to learn that, because in my previous relationships, I always thought I needed to go tell somebody what was going on. No, you do not. You have someone to tell how you feel. You have someone to express what's going on to. Your husband, your wife, your spouse, right? So your business is your business. You can cause so much extra problems in your family, telling this person and telling that person. You can cause more problems than you actually even realize that you. Like I said, you and husband will be fine in 3 days, but mom and sister and brother will still be hanging on to the situation that happened a month ago that you got over. So keep your business within your marriage. If you need to reach out for some type of advice, because we all do, don't get it wrong, keep it at a minimum. If you need counseling, please seek counseling. But your counselor is not your mom. Your counselor is not your dad. Your counselor is not your friend. Yes, mom has good advice. Yes, dad has good advice. But anybody that has been married or anybody that has been in a long-term relationship knows that this is not just a smooth ride. This is a bumpy roller coaster, and you have to be willing to hold hands and go through this roller coaster together. Now, that was just some things that I have learned while being married. And what I've come to realize is, before getting married, we have to understand that being in love with someone or feeling that you're in love with someone are two totally different things. If you are in love with someone, there are so many levels of things that you're going to go through. There are so many chapters that you're going to run through, but you have to be committed to that. And the only way that you can be committed to that, the only way that you can follow those vows till death do us part, through sickness and through health, you have to learn how to cohabitate with your spouse. You have to learn your spouse. You have to learn how to love your spouse. The only way that you're going to be able to do that is actually being in love with that person, not feeling like you love that person. There's too many marriages that are happening today that people feel like that they're in love, not actually knowing if they are in love. And I have heard that, well, actually, you don't know you're in love until you get married. I honestly don't believe that. I do believe that you can know that it's love the first week that you meet them. I believe that. I believe in love at first sight. But what I understand is, to be in love with someone means it doesn't matter what the situation is. You know that what you signed up for is not an easy road, and you're ready to go down that road with your partner. So that's all I have for you guys today. I can't wait to see you. I actually have a part 2 to this video. I was very brief with this video because my husband told me that he actually wanted to do this video with me. And the crazy thing is, I don't know what he want to share. So I guess he can learn some things too while being married to me for 5 years. But I mean, he married to me, so I mean, what you complaining about? Nah. But yeah, you guys, I can't wait to see you next time. Like this video. Comment, share with me some of your experiences and some things that you've come to learn, or maybe did I share something that you can relate to? I don't know. Comment, subscribe to my channel if you care, and share my channel if you can. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.